Well, I'm the only one that didn't get the memo on leaning out my charts. I have a few more than these guys do, but I'll talk a lot faster. One of the things we talk about, Andy Bush and I talk about everywhere we go, are our priorities. Next chart. These are the priorities that General Bush got when
my budget was smaller than yours.
Yeah, there you go. General Bush got this in writing from General Hoffman the day he took command. Kathy Close and I were working along the same lines, but it wasn't formalized the way it is now, and so we focus all of what we do on those 3 bullets. Next chart. Next chart. Nuclear enterprise is a big part of our business. It's actually small when you talk about head count and the number of hours we put into depot maintenance, but in terms of importance, it consumes our time at the leadership level. We think of ourselves in joint vernacular as a supporting commander and a supporting center to the ICBM program office, to AFGLSC's NWRM storage facility, and to the material management functions that the GLSC has there at Hill. We're also a significant depot maintenance provider on the ICBM system, and our focus, our total focus, is on making sure we meet General Lev Thomas's priorities to continue to strengthen the nuclear enterprise. Next chart. Workforce is a huge issue with all of us. We spend, those of you out there certainly in blue suits coming up, you know, if you're in the AMU business, if you're in the LRS business, people are a huge part of your day. But when you talk about a workforce of about 14,000 people, 80 to 90% of them civilians, you have a different dynamic, and it consumes us. 100% work year execution, that's an internal, interesting, but not all that important to you guys, AFMC thing. But it makes it takes a lot of time to manage that workforce within budget to make sure we not only have the right folks on board, but we are good stewards of the command's dollars. Significant challenges. AQUA is a short acronym for workload transfer between primarily the acquisition centers and the log centers. We're working that very hard. Insourcing an Air Force-wide initiative to bring in-house many of the things we have had contract support on for years, so that's a challenge for us. Training, mentoring, developing leaders. When you think of the depot, you don't think of acquisition. General Pyre talked about it. It is a significant part of our business, and as part of the Air Force's drive for acquisition excellence, we need to make sure we have the trained and capable workforce to do that. I'll tell you, this next bullet, nothing I did in my career, whether it's in uniform or in this uniform, prepared me for dealing with a workforce that has a large percentage of people that do harm to themselves. This has been a significant challenge to us. It's been a significant challenge to Warner Robins in the past. We're putting a lot of effort into workforce engagement. We got help from the research lab, the human effectiveness guys, RAND. They're all giving us some good stuff to do, but at the end of the day, it's getting eye to eye with folks and engaging on an adult level, and we're putting a lot of energy into that at our place. This last bullet, civilians versus battlefield airmen, it's a different dynamic. We're obviously struggling with folks who choose to take a permanent end to what we oftentimes view as temporary problems. But on the other hand, we got guys coming back from the fight who are spending a lot of time outside the wire, and we have to deal with them, reintegrate them back in not only to the community but to their day-to-day jobs in a different way than we've ever thought about in our careers, and so we're putting a lot of energy into that. Next chart. Effective and efficient ALC, that's an easy term. General Reno talked about it a little bit. These guys have talked about it a little bit. It's really broken down into these major headings. Compliance, a big issue with us. We've focused in our maintenance wing on a thing we call the Aerospace Maintenance Quality Standard. It's really configuration management, systems engineering approach to depot maintenance, and we started it actually a couple years ago when Art Cameron was in the maintenance wing, and John Cooper took it on to great heights, and it is starting to pay back. We went from a pretty close to marginal maintenance wing a couple years ago to a wing that had all satisfactory and above at the group and squadron level. So a lot of progress there. Schedule is huge. It's not just in the depot maintenance part of our business. execution management applies to weapon system management, to delivering capability from a weapon system perspective. So we're focusing our acquisition guys, who often traded schedule for all the rest of the things that they have to deal with, focusing them on meeting schedule, meeting that customer need date for the capability they produce. Weapon system management, we're all dealing with significant aging aircraft issues. At the same time, we're putting in place the capability for the future, whether it be F-22, F-35 at our place, KCX, and C-17 at Robbins. A lot of activity around that. In the weapon system arena, we're going to kind of follow Robbins' lead on a partnered program office or a partnered system support manager for the F-22. And then the F-35 role is still undetermined, but we're working with Tom Owens' folks at the ASC to make sure that we define our roles and responsibilities within the Air Force to support that weapon system. And installation and readiness, really we're in a no-notice wing arena. You guys, that's nothing new to you, but in AFMC that's a significant shift in the way we approach things. So not only are we deploying folks day in and day out, but we're preparing. We have a 3-command ORI starting the end of this month that we're going to do with ACC and AFRC, and so we've been practicing sucking rubber and doing all those things that many of you in uniform are used to doing all the time. Resource stewardship, next charts. On the energy arena, you know, energy's big for the Air Force. It's huge for us. We have a lot of natural resources out in Utah that allow us to do some interesting things. All 3 ALCs are doing a lot in this arena. You can see the things we're exploring right now. It's not only demand reduction, but it's how do we create new supply and become energy self-sufficient, actually push power back to the grid. And then, of course, culture change is key in sustaining that. Next chart. And I never thought I'd be in the real estate business, but over the last couple of years, actually last 7 or 8 years, we've worked hard on developing an enhanced use lease of 550 acres on the west side of our base, out leased to a developer for commercial development, and in kind we receive about 600,000 square feet of new office space. So that is finally off and running. We broke ground a couple of weeks ago. And in Park City, Congressman Jim Hansen, on his way out the door, gave us some land up at Park City in exchange for some land we had at Snow Basin. When they did the Olympic build-up, they took that land away from us but gave us some in Park City. And so now we're working with the city, Summit County, and AFRIPA on putting together what we hope will be a world-class commercial hotel up in Park City that everybody can use in the future. So not something we were ever trained to do as maintenance officers, but stuff you do when you're in the senior levels of the Air Force. That's the end of my story. Thanks.
Thank you.